Hey, what do you say I jump in front of you tonight and we'll see what happens next?
No, dear, not tonight. So, wanted to talk a little bit about ways to avoid the deer. Because we are coming up on September, we are coming up on fall. That is the time that they go into rut. That is the time that deer strikes tend to be more prevalent, although you can, of course, obviously get them any time of the year. So, tip number one is try not to ride during the times that deer are most active, which is usually just as the sun is coming up or just as the sun is setting. And again, as we're moving closer to fall, those times are changing. The days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer. It used to be back in June and July, I'd be going to work this time of day, and the sun will have already been up for a couple hours at least. Now it's only been up for about an hour-ish, hour and a half. So if you can, try and stagger it so you can not be riding during the times that they are most active. So that brings us to tip number two. If you can't stagger your times, if you need to be riding when the sun is coming up or when the sun is setting, and that happens to be the time that deer are most active, again, they can be active anytime during the day, but that's generally the times that they are most active. Tip number two would be to stick to the main roads instead of the back roads like I was just on. That's because of the increased traffic. Deer tend to be a little bit more aware that these are busier roads, will tend to stay away from them. Not always. Plus you have more road to be able to stop, avoid, go around, adjust as necessary. And while I'm talking about stopping ability, you have to talk about the tires. Using your front brake, that's most of your stopping power right there. So highly suggest, if you have the opportunity to do so, still lots of empty parking lots around, go practice your safe rider skills in an empty parking lot that you learned during your basic rider's course, emergency stopping. Emergency stopping, definitely might want to revise your knowledge of that. Get comfortable with grabbing your front brake, because again, that's most of your stopping power. In addition to that, you might even consider taking the advanced rider's course if you haven't done so already. Refresh those skills. That's a course that they take you on your own bike, and you learn how to handle it even more than you did in the basic rider's course. So a third tip to avoiding deer is to pay attention to the deer crossing sign. That's because they put those signs there for a reason. They know that deer tend to be prevalent in that area. They like to cross the road.
I'm a wild deer, and I'm out here eating leaves and whatnot when I come across this road, and I'm like, what is this thing? That's when you come around the bend and I freeze in your headlights.
No matter if you're in your car or you're on your bike, just be aware of where you see dead deer on the side of the road. Because obviously if there's one, there's more. And tip number 4 kind of goes back to number 1. If you find yourself having to ride during the sunset, at night, try and tuck in behind a car or truck and use their headlights to see farther. Obviously, you don't want to be so close to where if that car ends up having a deer encounter, now you're in the back of the car. So try and give yourself a little bit of room there, but especially at night, you can use that car's headlights, that truck's headlights, to be able to see farther than just your own. If you have an older bike, I highly, highly, highly recommend the Harley-Davidson Daymaker. On my 04 Dyna, I did put a Daymaker headlamp in there, and that made a world of difference. Tip number 5 is no alcohol until you get home. Car or bike, once you start drinking, I don't care if it is with a meal, your senses become impaired, your reaction time is slowed, and you're going to need all of that to avoid those little deer. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more and you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when we upload new video, be sure to hit that bell. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe and have fun.